Hey guys, we were talking last week about the things we need to work on to refine our pantomiming performances. And while we go through the next set of performances we will be doing a lot more games centering on making sure we can just clean up how our pantomimes are working, just kind of to practice it. So, today, with your notebook, before we begin anything else, I need you to take some notes. This should seem familiar because this is the exact same slide deck I used the last time I did this. I'm just leaving a whole bunch of stuff out, all of the practice stuff we did. And this, I'm going to show you the stuff that you really need to hone in on, that you really need to remember, and that we really need to practice to kick our pantomimes to that next level. Okay? Remember, pantomime is the act of interacting with imaginary people, places, and things. And you interact with them in such a way that they seem real to the audience. It's almost as if they can be seen because you play with them or you interact with them in just real ways. And it is very possible when you see somebody who's really good at pantomime, it's amazing what they can make you see. Right now, in our silent scene, we kind of walked our way through pantomime, this stuff, and it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't as good as it could have been. So these are the things we need to work on. Please remember that we have to give space to things that are imaginary. If they were really here, they would take up space. And so we really need to work with what is real in the context of the actions we're going to take. So if you have never gone to pump the gas in a car, maybe the next time you are in the car and you're at the gas station, you ask if you can at least go out and handle the materials so that you have a good physical sense of what that is, what space that needs to take up. And you need to make sure. We have a tendency to want to rush through performance, especially performance with which we don't feel as comfortable. And I find that lots of kids are not comfortable pantomiming. And so they just speed through stuff and nobody can tell what their hands are doing or what their feet are doing or what they're walking through. So you need to slow down. Slow down so that the audience can really tell what's going on. Please make sure that you become, over the next couple of weeks, a huge student of what it's like for me to sit down. What is it like when I pick up this glass? What's it like when I open this book? How am I truly interacting with these things? Physically, what do I feel first? When I just pick up something and grab it, what's the process? How do I know how much it weighs? What if I were to imagine that the book I just picked up weighed 100 times more than it really does? How would I react differently? Please also, when you are observing the way you interact with things and imagining, okay, what would I do if it were twice as light, as it were, or twice as heavy? Make sure you actually practice that. This can make you look like you are a bit of an idiot, but it's all in the name of becoming a really good pantomimer, so it seems okay. Or maybe you just devote practice time away from it. So make sure you are spending time practicing realistic movements and copying what you are doing, but without the object in your hand. Please, whatever you can do to not hide from the audience. We can't get an idea of the space or the weight something takes up or how slowly you're moving through the movement if you're hiding it from the audience. Rearrange whatever has to happen so that you share so much more with the audience than maybe you would if there was something real that you were interacting with. Now remember what the click is. The click is the exact moment in time when here's object, here's my hand, the time it takes to actually interact with it is the click, the click, the click. And when you click, we ought to be able to see automatically weight and space of the object you're using. Please make sure that we know when the definite contact is. I'm clicking into place. Okay, now it's a little obvious if you go click, but at least then we can see, oh, there it is. I grabbed it. Oh, here I am. I grabbed it. Yeah. So make sure there's a definite moment of contact. If you don't have these down in your notes, I would You need space. You need to go slow. Observe and practice reality and then play around with reality. And then say, hey, if this, change the parameters of reality in your real life and then notice, what does it feel like? Where do I feel it? What's up with how I'm interacting with it? What can I do to show everything? And how can I show that I've made contact with something real? All right. Please remember, these are the things you should be writing down, because all pantomime has to have these three qualities. Pardon. You have to keep things the same size. Unless you are in Alice in Wonderland, which would be so confusing to do as a pantomime, things have to remain the same size. They don't get bigger and smaller. They remain the same size. You put them back in the same place, and you have to make sure that you have consistency of action. You have it, you pick it up, you interact with it, you put it down, and then you leave it. And if it's not that consistent, then we're going to lose things. All right? Exaggerated resistance. Movements need to be slower and sharper and crisper and slightly larger than they are in real life. There is, when I pick up the Stanley, there is the weight of what's in it. There's the weight of this. There's the feel of this. All things I have to exaggerate as I have them. I'm glad that this is here for me. Also, exaggerated facial expression. Please remember that we will know so much more if there is a reaction in gesture or facial expression to what it is that you have, that you're interacting with. So keep the expression and gestures very specific, but like turn them up a couple notches so they're a little louder, they're a little bigger than they would be in real life. Without the sound, you don't need that. I mean, wait, with the sound, you don't need that. Without the sound, if you don't have it, we might not notice it. All right, so it's got to be larger than life. You got those, right? Consistency, exaggerated resistance, and exaggerated expression and gesture. Okay, these are guidelines about body language. These are things that if you sat and thought about them, you probably go, oh, duh. But unless you really clue in to what you as a person do proprioceptively, if you can sense that, then pantomime is recalling that sense. Remember, we have many more than just the 5 senses they taught you in kindergarten. But some of these senses don't have an automatic thing we can point to, because proprioception is our brain's picture of reality of what our body's doing in time and space. Proprioception is, you being able to walk without looking at your feet. So proprioceptive sense is what you need when you're going to pantomime. Most of these things are, well, no, duh, but if you don't examine them, you're going to leave them out. And then all of a sudden your movement, because you need to exaggerate all of the movement because you haven't done it this way, it feels wrong, or it feels like robotic or off or just not right. So your center, your core, your chest is the key to all of your bodily action and movement. So everything starts center and then moves out. Okay, you can't start something with just hand movements. It's very awkward. We can't tell what's going on. If it comes from the center out, then I'm moving from my center to get something. I'm moving from my center to pick up my Stanley mug, and not just using a hand to get it fast. Please, when you're using a hand, now in pantomime, it's super important to pull your hair back, which mine is not, sorry. And you probably can't see much anyway because of the yellow on the screen. But that your sleeves are up a little so we can see your wrist. Why? Because all hand movement starts from your wrist. All finger movement starts from your wrist. And so if you leave your wrist out of this equation, then people aren't going to know what to look at. That wrist will give us definition for what your hand's going to do. So make sure your wrist leads your hand gestures. Please remember that when you're going to use an arm or a hand, you should move your elbow away from your body, from center, to do any movement. That way we can see. If you keep your elbow and your arm right next to your body when you do stuff, we won't be able to see what you're doing. So make your elbow have space from your body as you go to do something. This automatically makes everything you're doing bigger. When it's bigger, then we will be able to understand it better. Okay, please, if you're gonna go up, you should go down first. Why? Because opposite action emphasizes any physical movement. So if I'm gonna get out of this chair and I go down first, and then go up, then you'll know, oh, wait, I'm watching what she's doing. And then it gives you a pattern of progression. And the brains of the people in the audience can go, oh, because see, every action has its opposite in it in some small way. And so opposite action emphasizes physical movement. Am I going to the left? Well, then I'm going to move slightly to the right first before I go left. It will make the movement smoother, and it will give the audience a better clue. Please remember how arms and hands, and sometimes legs move more linearly than circularly, but arms and hands move circularly. They move out and around and to things, out, around, and to, out and over and around, instead of just slashing right towards something. Okay, whenever you just have straight movements, it looks robotic and doesn't look human. Okay, which, if you're trying to look robotic, will give you what you need to do. No circular movement. Okay, facial expression always happens before physical action. So if I'm surprised by something, I should show the surprise on my face first, and then the rest of my body. So surprise face, body. So now I got to time it so that it will follow faster, but can you see how that will work? If I do the body first and then face, it just looks weird, like it doesn't work. So face first, body follows. Why? Because your brain reacts first. Your face is the first thing that will react, and then the rest of you will be into action. That's how movement works. That's how we react in time and space. Okay? Please make sure you know where you are in relation to the audience and where upstage is. If you have to walk and you're walking to go profile across the stage, walk with your upstage leg first. I don't care what feels better. If you walk with your downstage leg first, you're going to automatically turn and block yourself. If you're going to do something with your downstage hand, I'm blocking everything the audience can see. But if I use my upstage arm, I can make sure everything's clear. Exaggeration of movement is the only way the audience knows what's going on. And then, like we said before, don't hide anything. Whatever you can do to even make it seem like you are sharing the secret part with the audience, so that there is no secret with the audience. They see everything, your expression, your reaction, everything. Don't hide it. It helps them to know what's happening. Make sure that you remember that all actions, just like all stories, have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you can't start in the middle of the action, and most kids start middle. And they don't start with what the beginning is, and they don't end it. They just do the middle action and then think, oh, why don't people understand what I'm trying to show them? It's because you didn't start at the beginning of the action, work through to the middle, and then stop the action. One of the best pantomimers that you can see routinely is Stephen Colbert. He has a late night TV show. He is a comedian, and he is an expert pantomimer, and he often pantomimes in his monologues, and he always puts the things away. Always. And he always puts them away just off camera. It's a very good habit to get into. Whatever you do, you put it away, because that's what's up. I'm going to give you some instructions on how we're going to play around with these ideas in different videos, because this video is getting really long. So good luck. Hopefully you got everything you need in your notes. If not, go back, rewatch the video before you play any of these games. All right. Good luck.